Cooper guitarist, solo recording artist, and one of the baddest guitarists on the planet, Nita Strauss!
And now, WWE presents NXT TakeOver, Stand and Deliver.
Live inside the Capitol Wrestling Center for the biggest event in the history of NXT. An event so big, it needed 2 nights. Welcome to NXT TakeOver, Stand and Deliver.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Birmingham, England, weighing in at 205 pounds, the Cruiserweight, Pete Dunne.
It's Pete Dunne, who claims to be the best technical wrestler in the world. He challenged anyone to prove him wrong.
I mean, there's good reason for that. Pete Dunne began training at the tender age of 12 years old, hunting his dream, never making provisions for anything other than success. Believing in his craft, he's broken a lot of dreams and bones on his way to the top.
And Wade, what a way to kick off night 1 of NXT TakeOver, Stand and Deliver.
Oh, let me tell you, that anthem by Alice Cooper guitarist Nita Strauss has really set this scene. And what a way to kick this off, you're right. The Bruiserweight taking on Kushida in the battle to see who is the technical mastermind here in NXT.
And his opponent from Tokyo, Japan, weighing in at 192 pounds, Kushida!
Wade, Kushida, not going to back down from a challenge. Doesn't matter who it comes from.
Yeah, we've seen it time and time again from Kushida. He is indeed a prideful man. He loves competition, and it would appear he cannot tolerate loudmouths like Pete Dunne. He's got a point to prove tonight.
Guys, it was just last week as well that Kushida refused to break the hoverboard lock. Dunn couldn't break away in the Battle Royal. The personal rivalry now between these two superstars, well, it led to both their eliminations just 1 week ago.
I mean, think about it. The cold hard truth is that Pete Dunne was locked in that hoverboard lock. He was stuck, and he knew it, and that's got to be rolling around in the back of his mind. Kushida, in my mind, has the edge in this matchup tonight.
Well, also a little bit more than meets the eye in this matchup.
Yeah, certainly for Dunn.
Oh, here we go.
We go
And it's
straight
right off
into
the
this
bat.
one.
Dunn going right, trying to get the submission. Kushida, nice job, able to counter. And now Kushida looking for the armbar. And Kushida trying to hold on. Dunn able to escape for just a moment.
Well, here's the fascinating thing we know about Kushida. Needs a small window of opportunity to lock in one of them cross arm breaks, and this one's over.
So, Wade, what separates these two?
Well, it's very difficult to even put a piece of paper between these two in terms of their technical mastery. Definitely the two best in NXT, but if I had to separate them, I'd say Kushida enjoys slapping on these torturous holds in order to win a match. Dunn, on the other hand, I think winning a match is almost secondary to him. I think he enjoys hurting and torturing people. He enjoys the pain.
All right, now look at the submission here by Kushida, center of the ring. And again, Beth, to your point earlier from last week, nowhere for Pete Dunne to go. Dunn, right now, is getting tied up by Kushida.
Yeah, you know, I totally agree with you, Wade, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but there is that sadistic edge to Pete Dunne that brings something different to the table than Kushida, but I think Kushida is 100% prepared for that. He's coming knowing what he's going to get when he's facing Pete Dunne.
As on the pre-show, Jimmy Smith said it would be Dunn's manipulation of the joints the key to this matchup, as Kushida again able to counter Dunn early on. Bruiserweight now trying to navigate his way free, and look at the movement by Pete Dunne. Technical mastery early on between these two superstars. And Dunn had it scouted, had Kushida scouted, and now with the fingers. In the hand, in the digits. Oh no, wait a minute. Dunn, X-Plex. And you can see Dunn focusing in on Kushida, and there's nothing really fancy about Dunn's style.
Absolutely not. It doesn't have to be. Look at this. Snap those small joints like the fingers.
Oh my God!
Or indeed hyperextend that elbow, or pull that shoulder out of the socket. All has the same effect.
I mean, take a look at that effortless ease with which Pete Dunne throws Kushida, landing hard on the ribs, and then right here, ooh, that hyperextension, all the tendons pushed to the max.
And Dunn now, you can hear Kushida writhing in pain. Dunn looking to lock in yet another submission, and again grabbing at the left wrist and hand, and then a vicious stop by Pete Dunne.
Yeah, it was really nice from Pete Dunne, because what he did there, they were kind of going back and forth with the technical stuff. Dunn softened him up with that suplex on the apron, and now he can just pick apart Kushida at will.
Pete Dunne.
Kick to the face too, for good measure.
Kushida answering back. Dunn looking for a takeover victory for the 5th straight year, and this turned in from a technical masterpiece to a slugfest.
Ow! Pete Dunne calling hard on the forearm. He's favoring that arm now.
Look at the hip toss. They're looking for the cartwheel. Dunn had it blocked for a moment. The quickness, the elusiveness of Kushida. Dunn rolling to the outside, looking to escape. NXT Universe on their feet for Kushida. No one there. Dunn! Oh! And now focusing is done from the upper body now to the lower extremities.
Spilling all the way out onto our entranceway, but once again, Kushida too quick, replying with that springboard back elbow.
Look at Kushida using, Beth, his environment to his advantage.
Kushida has ring awareness inside and out.
What a kick by Kushida. The momentum carrying both back into the squared circle. And again, you can just feel the energy. Dunn trying to lock in the submission.
Like an octopus wrapped around the body of Kushida.
Dunn trying to, again with the joint manipulation, Kushida trying to fight his way out. Kushida now reverses.
What a reversal towards that hold lock, but
look at Pete Dunne.
Dunn managed to block it with the other arm.
Dunn able to counter with a nice block, able to figure out Kushida, who answers back with a kick.
The crack of that chop just lighting up something in Kushida.
Kushida again, springing in, gets caught. Dunn with the fingers, bending the digits, snap in the fingers.
Kushida once again go for that springboard back elbow.
Looking for the bitter end, counter by Kushida. Kushida instead, oh, cover, shoulders Kushida thinking about what he's got to do next. Kushida in control of Pete Dunne. What a way to kick things off. NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver.
And blink and you'll miss it in this one. The momentum shifting back and forth. Such is the pace that these two are going at it, and such is their knowledge of each other's opponent here. They know immediately how to reverse their favorite moves.
Oh, vicious headbutt again by Pete Dunne, and everything, Beth, that Pete Dunne has done in his career, it's so malicious. And take a look at what now Dunne's doing to Kushida.
I mean, the ring acumen of Pete Dunne add to that he has gotten into the best shape of his life. His quickness is unmatched at this moment. I mean, he is working and operating at a level we've never seen him at before.
Oh, wait, I want to come back to you when you talk about both these superstars. As we take a look at what happened before the commercial break, the snapping of the fingers, looking for the bitter end. Kushida able to counter Dunne, and well, it was so very close, very evenly matched is this matchup. But by calling yourself the best technical wrestler in the world, didn't Pete Dunne just put more pressure on himself?
It really is putting pressure on himself here as he goes for that.
Hook of the leg, is it enough to put Kushida? Oh, and Kushida kicks out. Taking a look at the Capitol Wrestling Center here on the USA Network, and Peacock as Pete Dunne focused on Kushida. No one home. Kushida answers with another kick, and now Kushida right back into this matchup. Looking to hook, and now drop Dunne into the submission.
Cross-arm breaker.
Cross-arm breaker connects. Dunne able to roll through. The pressure reversed, and again, a stomp onto the left elbow. Dunne now trying to transition in his own right. Double underhook suplex into the cross break.
Return the favor back to Kushida, but Kushida managing to get his way out of there.
Oh, swing and a miss, right hand kicks, and Kushida answers back.
This is like a tennis match, back and
Bam! So evenly matched.
Oh man, neither opponent has had more than 30 seconds of consistent momentum in this one.
And you start to wonder for Kushida, the hand, you can see him trying to shake some feeling back into his fingers and wait again. More pressure on Dunne now in this matchup?
Well, Dunne was the one who made the boastful claim of being the best technician on the planet. He's the reason we are here in this match, and to be proved wrong by Kushida would be a massive humiliation that would crush the ego of Dunne.
yeah, to be fair, Wade, go big or go home. Pete Dunne believes that about himself. He's not out here blowing smoke. And to be honest, in each and every one of his matches, he tends to prove it.
Near that last kick to the bicep, echoing through the Capitol Wrestling Center, that drop kick, pinpoint precision by Kushida. Kushida's focused on the arms of Pete Dunne, and Kushida now, at least for the moment, blocking out the pain.
Yeah, absolutely. Clearly painful on that hand of Kushida after the attacks from Dunne, but back on top. For how long is the question?
Still in control. And again, Kushida has scouted Pete Dunne heading into this matchup. And now Kushida, the rage coming out. Capitol Wrestling Center on their feet. What is on the mind of Kushida? Hoverboard lock. Top rope. Kushida. Oh, off the top. Hoverboard lock.
Locked in away from the ropes here. Is Dunne going to tap?
Look at the body positioning of Kushida.
Yes, right on top of Pete Dunne, following the impact, driving the air out of Pete Dunne's lungs. Dunne is in agony.
Oh, Dunne able to fight his way to the bottom rope. Kushida not letting go.
Getting as much bang for his buck. Locked in again. Both hands tied up.
Is Dunne gonna toe? Dunne with his big toe forcing the hold by Kushida, and what a way to kick off the night. Hashtag NXT TakeOver trending #1 in the United States as Kushida trying to prove he's the best technical wrestler in the world. Knee across the elbow. Kushida could be lining up to prove Pete Dunne wrong.
Dunne's in a world of trouble here. Hoverboard lock. Locked on as again. Pete Dunne meandering his way over to the ropes again. The referee has to break this.
What incredible body awareness. Kushida switching arms.
count, and Pete Dunne wisely able to get to the ropes yet again.
Well, Kushida is all over Pete Dunne at this point, but has the damage been done to Dunne's arm? He is in agony, can't even stand up at this point. Focused purely on that left elbow.
Who will have bragging rights, because we want to remind the world NXT moves to Tuesday nights on USA this Tuesday. But right now it's Pete Dunne again bending back. Back the index finger, the middle finger, and the, oh my gosh, again, just trying to break the fingers of Kushida.
Dunne has stopped the phalanges.
Whoa, swinging a miss, another right hand connects. But again, the fingers and the damage done. Dunne capitalizing. That time the kick connects.
The delicate bones in Kushida's hands have to be absolutely crushed.
Kushida's got nothing left.
Dunne trying to lock in the bitter end to Kushida. Dunne cover the count. Pete Dunne proves to be what he says he is.
Here is your winner, Pete Dunne.
And that is the best technical wrestler in the world.
Well, what a start to this match. Two men truly going toe-to-toe, hold the hold. Kushida gave a fantastic account for himself, but ultimately, it was Dunne's strategy of softening up the hand of Kushida, which is where Kushida fell apart.
I gotta correct you, not hands of Kushida right here.
Here's an example, difficult to watch in this moment. Dunne's wheelhouse right there, resulting in this pick.
Resulting in Kushida not able to capitalize after that punch connected, which will open the door, Beth, for Dunne.
And the viciousness of Pete Dunne on display right there, getting advantage of Kushida.
And then just add it up, and it would all equal the bitter end for Kushida as Pete Dunne proves his squared circle supremacy here tonight to kick things off on NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver.
Well, and the action continues here on TakeOver. There you see NXT Women's Champion Io Shirai, someone she has great respect for, Zoe Stark, as she takes on her most imposing challenger ever, Raquel Gonzalez, in tonight's historic main event. Io Shirai.
And here is the challenger herself, Raquel Gonzalez, squaring off in our main event against Io Shirai, flanked by her partner in crime, Dakota Kai. Cannot wait for that one.
And that is our main event, but how about what's coming up next? Who will earn the opportunity to face Johnny Gargano tomorrow night in night number 2 as our #1 contender gauntlet match is next?
They've got quite the mountain to climb. Ruff and Scott will start every 3 minutes. A new man will come up. The winner of night 1 will have earned the chance to face Gargano. It all happens tomorrow. The Gauntlet Eliminator is next.
Edge just achieved the impossible. Edge is going to WrestleMania.
I choose Roman Reigns.
Edge wants the head of the table on the grandest stage of them all.
A man like you just doesn't stand a chance against a man like me.
The single most dominant force in all of WWE.
Maybe it's time that I remind you just who the hell I am.
You think you know me?
He continues to add to his legacy.
I'm tired of standing on the sidelines. I'm gonna give it everything I've got.
I am walking out of WrestleMania as a champion. I operate in this ring at a higher level.
Edge, Roman Reigns, and Daniel Bryan in a triple threat match for the Universal title at WrestleMania.
WrestleMania exclusively streaming live right here on Peacock this Saturday and Sunday. Guys, I gotta ask you, and I want to start with Wade. How to be successful? How do you win a gauntlet match?
A gauntlet match is very, very simple. You need 2 things. You need endurance and you need a little bit of luck. Failing that, you just need to make sure that your name is LA Knight.
Do we have to continue to listen to that, Wade? I mean,
says everything's simple.
Are you gonna kick back on this or something with Cash from LA Knight?
That's a great point, actually, Beth. Well, wait a minute. Ruff and Isaiah Swerve Scott. These are the first two superstars to enter this gauntlet match. It's Isaiah Swerve Scott taking full advantage. I mean, just like we saw last week.
Yeah, hang on a second. Let's not forget it was Leon Ruff who attacked Swerve Scott prior to last week's Battle Royal.
Well, right now, both superstars going at it. I mean, they're 1 and 2, and you said simple earlier. There's nothing simple for either of these two superstars.
I don't think the match has even officially started at this point.
Well, Leon,
under the bell ring.
Both these wait a minute. No. Oh! We talk about animosity being at an all-time high.
Ruff is like a cat.
Spidey senses flaring up for Leon Ruff. But again, to Wade's point, this match hasn't begun.
Well, looks like Leon Ruff is prepared to finish it, though.
Oh, no. Oh, sternum first.
Let's face it, if either of these two men are going to win this gauntlet, then they're going to have to be marathon men. They're just adding to the duration of the match they're effectively involved in. The match hasn't started.
Come on, Swerve, you know you got to start it in here. Come on.
That's what I was trying to allude to, Wade, is these two got the hardest odds, the longest odds, just to survive this.
Come on.
Then Leon Ruff still trying to fight, but Leon Ruff was attacked, Beth, before this matchup.
Yeah, Leon Ruff operating on pure emotion in this moment, just trying to give it back to Swerve.
Come on. Get inside the ring. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Well, back on USA Network, as the first two entries into the gauntlet match are here. Finally, this match is starting.
A little pre-battle brawl there, and Swerve again out on the floor. Ruff too quick for him.
Oh, much like we saw in the first match.
Just been watching Pete Dunne there.
Well, it worked for Leon Ruff. Oh no, Scott catching Ruff again. Staring him over the barricade.
Ruff coming through with that tope. He's 150 pounds soaking wet. Did not have the force to take down Isaiah Swerve Scott. Look at the grimace on the face of Swerve.
Well, look, Isaiah Swerve Scott is going to have Leon Ruff to himself for now under 3 minutes until the next competitor enters into this gauntlet eliminator. And for Scott, Wade, he believes he's been overlooked here in NXT by superstars like Leon Ruff.
It's very, very difficult to disagree with Swerve Scott because let's face it, staring at you again, Vic.
I don't like the look on his face.
Let's face it, Ruff walked into NXT, was handed opportunities from the word go. Swerve Scott's never been given an opportunity. This is not safe.
Come on, Leon, get in.
And Ruff.
Oh! Diving, twisting cutter off our announce desk.
It's moves like what we just witnessed. It's the heart of a champion that Leon Ruff has that makes him in this match the only man, Beth, to hold the North American title as into the cover to eliminate Scott. And Isaiah Swerve Scott able to kick out again. Pinfall elimination, the only way to be eliminated.
Yeah, Wade speaking a whole lot of baloney, saying Leon Ruff was handed opportunities. Ruff has earned everything that he's gotten in that ring, and you're seeing that right here, what he is capable of.
Well, I humbly disagree with you, but he's doing a heck of a job in there with Swerve right now. Swerve turning the tables in a heartbeat. Slingshot against the top rope. Let's take another look at this.
This was during the commercial break, and Isaiah Swerve Scott for the moment was able to turn things around in his advantage.
Come on, get in the ring.
And Isaiah Swerve Scott, a man on a mission in this matchup. And you wonder, though, Beth, for Scott, is it not only, he just wants to punish Leon Ruff at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we were mentioning before the emotion. You know, these two men despise each other at this point, and they're willing to tear each other apart.
Well, I don't know if you just noticed, but Isaiah Swerve Scott literally just pulled Leon Ruff to the middle turnbuckle by his ears, and now could be looking to plant Ruff with a power. What a reversal by Ruff!
What a breathtaking reversal here. Leon Ruff using Swerve's momentum against him.
Both superstars down. These are just the first two as now the countdown begins. And we all know, based on the eliminations from a week ago, that it would be Bronson Reed entering this match third. And now, for Bronson Reed is, wait a minute, Ruff's wasting no time!
Oh, what a powerhouse Bronson Reed. He's plucked Ruff out of the air with ease.
Whoa!
Smarts from Swerve Scott there.
And Scott now right on top of Bronson Reed. And, well, this has to be the strategy of Scott and Ruff. I mean, Reed's the freshest.
Yeah, he isn't even given a chance to get his ring jacket off.
And Reed now setting up. Oh, his Thick Boy season in full effect here in the Capitol Wrestling Center. And many considered Reed Wade to be the favorite in last week's Battle Royal.
Yeah, absolutely, for the Battle Royal. He will be disappointed himself getting the qualifying spot he got. A man of his size, endurance is never going to be his best friend in this kind of match.
Wait a minute. Ruff and Reed working together to take out Scott.
And surprise, surprise, Wade, I disagree with you. If you go back to the first Gauntlet Eliminator, Bronson Reed had quite a strong showing, and tonight's turning out much the same way.
Well, that was a terrible idea from Leon Ruff there. Stop!
Oh, that was probably even a worse idea for Leon
That is
Ruff.
what you get. Pancaked in the middle of the ring. 330 pounds.
Now, Ruff's spine might be realigned as Reed now.
Let's call this one off.
Anybody got a spatula?
This certainly, guys, can't feel very good.
Take a look at this. Shades of Yokozuna. Effortless right here. Bonsai across the chest of Leon Ruff.
Bronson Reed so close becoming the North American champion at TakeOver 30 as Ruff lands on his feet. And
how is his sternum not caved in?
Ooh, not a great strategy there.
Well,
Uh-oh.
Who's got a ticket to ride? Ruff trying to hold on to the top rope, doing anything he can. Reed showcasing that strength. Time to fly.
Wow, check out the power of the Thick Boy hoisting two bodies simultaneously. One more time. Look at the height there. Leon Ruff sent sailing 3/4 across the entire ring.
Leon Ruff got launched.
An absolute nasty landing for Ruff, but I don't think Scott's going to like the view here, as again, we are moments away from the next competitor entering the match. Well, much like Reed, another superstar who is fingertips away from the North American title. Guys, I don't think Cameron Grimes is going to be able to buy his way out of this match.
The pumpkin billionaire himself, he can buy anything he wants.
Oh, and Grimes off the momentary distraction. Scott with a drop kick. A moonsault by Grimes. Reed is down. And Scott, Grimes, and Ruff may need to start working together to eliminate Reed.
Well, that would make sense, wouldn't it? You see, Cameron Grimes here, again, look at...
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
It looks like a deal has been struck, guys.
Look, now Cameron Grimes and Swerve working together. Maybe he can buy a victory in this match, or at least some help.
Everybody has a prize. A wise man once said that, and apparently Swerve Scott has a prize. Let's face it, Swerve Scott is still in the match. It behooves him to team up with Cameron Grimes. I might as well get some money for it, too.
Scott is still in the match. Matter of fact, no eliminations yet in this Gauntlet Eliminator to find out who will face Johnny Gargano tomorrow night for the North American Championship.
Now, let's face it, if there are no eliminations, ultimately we could end up with all 6 men in the ring at the same time.
Cameron Grimes, and again, it's been Leon Ruff and Isaiah Swerve Scott who started this matchup for Ruff. He was jumped out of the gate by Scott, and Ruff now right foot up. Cameron Grimes charges in, no one home. Ruff connects with a forearm.
Leon Ruff, that incredible speed. Oh, those ropes might be slippery from the sweat and body oil.
I think it was just Ruff's cat-like agility, but nothing agile about another rough landing for Leon. Okay. And Grimes and Scott again working together. This time, though, Bronson Reed trying to fight both Grimes and Scott off. Oh, smart strategy by Grimes. And now, Scott follows up with a poke kick under the jaw. Reed again is rocked.
It's a smart move. Keep Reed out of the match for as long as you can. Take care of everyone else and then focus on the big man.
You gotta get Reed back in the ring.
Eventually worry about it when it happens.
Well, Swerve looking a little bit cocky in this situation.
There's cash all over the ringside area.
To shrink the field as Grimes and Scott focusing on Leon Ruff.
And Grimes, one of the only two competitors in this matchup that have experience in a gauntlet eliminator. Grimes going all the way to the end last time.
Cameron Grimes trying to do the exact same here tonight. If he's successful, he might have a date with Destiny tomorrow night, as again, the next competitor about to enter the match. And we certainly know that Dexter Lumis, well, we know his #1 fan, Indy Hartwell, is certainly pulling for him.
Index!
Index?
Index!
Is that like Bennifer?
It's the next best celebrity couple nickname, Index!
The guy's a creeper. Indy Hartwell needs to stay well clear of this.
Don't get in the way of true love, Wade.
And Dexter Lumis could be going one-on-one with Indy Hartwell's mentor tomorrow night, that being Johnny Gargano. Back into the ring, though. Grimes to the outside. Center of the ring, Leon Ruff, the first superstar gone.
Leon Ruff has been eliminated.
And Dexter Lumis on the ramp now. Oh, DDT. Dropping Bronson Reed.
Take a look at this deliberate movement from Dexter Lumis.
And we know Lumis wants to get his hands on Johnny Gargano. He's got to go through the field to get to Gargano tomorrow night. And old friends reunite.
Yeah. Grimes wants no part of that.
Flashbacks to Halloween Havoc. But right now, Scott might be having flashbacks in his own right. Taking a nasty ride.
The slow, methodical pace of Lumis, but so effective in that.
You get a suplex! You get a suplex!
Dexter Lumis, not a man of many words. All about action. And another stiff right hand to the jaw of Scott. Could you imagine Dexter Lumis, Johnny Gargano tomorrow night?
Absolutely, of course, again, we've seen those two do battle before, but once again here, just devastating effects from Dexter Lumis.
Lumis has cleaned house.
This is what it's about now. Look at Reed. Look at Lumis. Boom. Slugging it out.
Yeah, I know I'm backing on that one. It's a 330-pounder.
Oh! Dexter Lumis might be impervious to pain.
Whoa. Lumis trying to lift up. Bronson Reed. Reed, no problem getting Lumis up, who lands on his feet. Lumis. Chop right to the throat. That'll stop anyone. Hoisting up Reed.
Oh, my word.
The powerful physique of Dexter Lumis.
Whoa. Grimes, I don't know if that was by default or not, but both superstars up and over.
Crashing and burning on the floor right in front of us. Not sure who got the worst of that one.
Only one superstar left to join the fray, and we all know it was the winner of last week's Battle Royal, the hottest free agent to come to NXT.
Let me talk to you. LA Knight's takeover is now official. Matter of fact, yeah, why don't I go ahead and help this human piece of waste to the back? Speaking of guys taking off, I hear Cameron Grimes wants to take off to the moon. And I'm just the guy to help him as I punt his ass into deep space. I'll put it to you like this. Dexter Lumis can go ahead and paint that picture, but the only picture he should paint is him getting dropped on his head, courtesy of L.A. Knight. And then, Swerve, brother, I hear you're different. Hell yeah,
Oh, Bronson Reed had enough of L.A. Knight.
I think we all had enough.
Absolutely not. I was enjoying that.
Just give me a second. Just give me a second to think about it. Just give me a... Come on, man. Now. Come on. Come on, man. Now. Come on. No, let's go! Come on, lady. No, no, no! Oh, my God!
Oh, LA Knight taking the worst of wear as this Gauntlet Eliminator continues. Only one elimination thus far.
That bionic elbow right between the eyes of Cameron Grimes.
Bronson Reed really has turned the, everything into his favor.
Of course, he's such a big powerhouse of a man, such freakish strength and agility in there. LA Knight, of course, has to be the favorite in this one. He won the Gauntlet qualifying Battle Royal, got the peach entrance in this one, but he's been laid to waste so far, and once again, Bronson Reed coming back for a little more.
Well, let's not forget, Wade, LA Knight still has a lot to prove against superstars like Bronson Reed, who are battle-tested here in NXT.
Well, Bronson Reed just dropping LA Knight. We mentioned at the start, Bronson Reed was the odds-on favorite last week, entered this matchup number 3 in this gauntlet. All competitors have now entered. The last one standing earns that championship opportunity. Back on the USA Network, Gauntlet Eliminator continuing. Reed sidesteps LA.
Oh, yes! That is it! This is why this man is in the building. LA Knight, the favorite for this. Oh, beautiful stuff right here. The attention getter, the trendsetter. This man taking it all the way to the top. Whose time is it? It's LA Knight's time. That's why.
Wade, you need a cold glass of ice water.
I need a cold something, that's for sure.
Last week you got your ass covered. So we'll do it again.
Whoa! Oh, Loomis almost with eyes in the back of his head. Drops and then locks in the silence. Silence locked in on Cameron Grimes.
That's it, Grimes out of there.
Wait a minute, LA Knight! LA Knight rolling through, shoulders down. LA Knight just knocked out Loomis.
Dexter Loomis has been eliminated.
Yeah, of course he is. This is the megastar LA Knight. You get in his face, you're going to have problems.
Great, I'm never going to hear the end of it.
Well, again, Cameron Grimes did not tap out. Grimes is still in the matchup. Oh, big knee from Scott, though. And now Grimes, who just was saying, turns things around on LA Knight. Really down on the chest tonight. Cover.
LA Knight has been eliminated.
No!
What were you saying, Wade?
That was 3. All these pieces. You're out. Okay, go. You're out. Hey, you do something.
Loomis! A little bit of payback onto LA Knight. Loomis eliminated. Knight eliminated. Knight going to sleep.
And apparently that's what it takes to shut up LA Knight.
God, Loomis really weirds me out.
Well, we are down to the final 3. Reed, Scott, and Cameron Grimes, who comes in with that forearm.
These 3 men will go on to NXT TakeOver, stand and deliver. Night 2 tomorrow night to challenge the North American champion, Johnny Gargano.
Isaiah Swerve Scott has been in there since the very beginning, as he is still battling it out with Grimes and Reed. Isaiah Swerve Scott certainly, Beth, has stepped up tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he's been saying that he's got to do. This is a critical moment in his career when you talk about future opportunities, but also in shutting up the naysayers.
Oh! Kick didn't connect on Scott, connected on Reed. Scott now trying to take advantage of Cameron Grimes, trying to hook up Grimes. Grimes counters, tosses Scott to Reed! Super kick to Reed!
Every man for himself at this point, Blink!
What action! Grimes, Scott, Reed, all 3 down. setting the standard for the week that is the biggest of the year. Cameron Grimes connected with Bronson Reed, and Beth, just take a look at this action.
I mean, spectacular opportunistic things, but check this out, Timber! Bronson Reed crushing the pile of humanity.
All three men were ripe for the pickings there. Nobody was able to make a pinfall, so this match continues.
Well, again, the Cameron Grimes, Isaiah Swerve Scott, and those Grimes who put a little bit of money in the pocket of Scott earlier tonight.
You see Bronson Reed yelling, bring it on. Give me your best shot.
Well, the alliance had broken down. Perhaps they're back together again.
Listen to the impact. Oh! Reed took out Scott. Did connect with Grimes. Grimes. Oh!
Collision course.
Swerve's house. Left Grimes. Swerve now. Trying to capitalize. Grimes able to counter. Rolling through. Cameron Grimes with the tight. No.
Reversal.
Scott reversed. Another elimination.
Cameron Grimes has been eliminated.
He paid the man.
Grimes got out-bamboozled with a handful of tights by Isaiah Swerve Scott.
The price must have gone up mid-match.
We are down to the final two.
Take a look at this maneuver by Cameron Grimes.
Man.
Followed up quickly by Swerve, and you see Swerve had the idea to finish it off, but Grimes in his attempt to roll up Swerve with that handful of tights got it reversed, and Swerve, that alliance fell apart quickly.
The referee did not see the tights being grabbed, and now going right to the body is Isaiah Swerve Scott.
Yeah, and hats off to Swerve Scott. He started this match off. He never gets handed anything. He always has to do it the hard way, and that's exactly what he's doing in there tonight. But this might be over very soon by the looks of this.
You gotta wonder, Bronson Reed standing on the top rope. Scott now able to cut Reed off the pass.
All that humanity perched on the top rope. This is highly dangerous for a man the size of Bronson Reed.
Oh, no. There's no way.
Oh!
The ribs, the back of Bronson Reed.
The lower back of 330 pounds of Reed bouncing off the corner at the end off the top rope.
Come on.
Swerve here having a moment, knocking Bronson Reed silly, and it would allow him to get leverage to hoist Reed's body over and slam on the hardest part of the ring.
It's the top of the pelvis, the lower back, right where the point of that canvas caught Bronson Reed, and this might be over. 450 splash.
450. Is Scott headed tonight too? Does he have a deed with Gargano? Reed kicks out at 2.5.
Reed at the last second just turned away slightly, perhaps taking the impact. Check out the turn of Reed on this impact. Perhaps saving himself just a quarter turn away.
Even with all his body weight on the shoulders of Bronson Reed, Reed was able to kick out somehow.
Yeah, that midsection of Reed has taken a pounding.
Scott talking trash to Bronson Reed.
House call.
House can. There might not be any lights on in the house. That is Bronson Reed.
I like that. I want you to jump. Come back.
Another house call.
Well, you've got to admire the guts and determination of Bronson Reed.
Come on, watch the house, Swerve.
Third time the charm.
Talked a little too much smack there, did Swerve.
Oh, and
refusing to be denied. This is your moment, Swerve Scott.
Trifecta, cover, Scott, is it enough? And again! How in the hell did Bronson Reed kick
He
out?
should be unconscious.
Scott absolutely beside himself. And now Scott focusing on that lower back, focusing on the midsection, focusing on the ribs of Bronson Reed.
Swerve pivoting his strategy to a submission as he has not been able to effectively keep Reed down.
Well, he can't keep Reed down this string with one arm.
Oh!
The lights might be out for Scott. Powerbomb, center of the ring. Reed, no wasted motion, again hoisting up Scott.
Oh, this matchup turning on that time, and this is it!
We know what's next. Reed will not be denied.
greatest move in NXT. Tsunami!
Reed is headed to tomorrow night and a date with Johnny Gargano.
The Colossal Bronson Reed!
Bronson Reed survives the field, runs the gauntlet, and are we looking into the eyes of the next North American champion?
Well, Isaiah Swerve Scott had this one in the bag. How on earth did it slip away from him? 3 house calls in a row. Anyone else, that was over.
Let's take a look at Swerve's efforts early on. Boom! Across the side of Bronson Reed. For the 3rd time, he would give it an attempt.
1 wasn't enough, Bet. 2 wasn't enough. 3 wasn't enough. I mean, we all sat here and collectively came out of our seats.
There is something about the durability of this man, Bronson Reed. He tastes that opportunity at the North American champion. And look at this, graceful but huge impact upon landing. Nobody will get up from that.
There is the champion who now knows tomorrow night, exclusively on Peacock, Johnny Gargano will defend his North American crown against Bronson Reed. Well, speaking of championships, how about what's coming up in just a matter of moments? Walter, 700-plus days as champion. Did Tommaso Ciampa turn back the clock to 2018? Can he beat the unbeatable NXT UK Championship match? Next.
Totalitarian presence of Der Ling General. The incredible brutality, the sounds of those impacts.
Walter, in one word, unstoppable.
The Ring General is now the longest reigning NXT United Kingdom champion of all time.
Look the world over and find the next challenger for me.
The NXT United Kingdom champion back on American soil.
Tommaso Ciampa, you were dominant and a ruthless champion, but now you're just a shell of what you once were.
Message sent from the Ring General.
Walter, sometimes in life, we just need to be reminded of who we are. There is special, and then there's Tommaso Ciampa.
The most sadistic competitor in NXT.
I just happen to be the greatest sports entertainer of all time.
But now you have other priorities in life. It's not the most important thing in your life anymore.
The day I went in for neck surgery, my wife and my baby girl gave me this necklace. Yeah, Walter, I've changed. I'd rather be a man who really fights for something than a man who fights with nothing to lose any day of the week.
That's the difference between you and me. Because my commitment is unreached.
You want to know, Walter, if the Black Heart still lives? You want to know if the Psycho Killer's still there? And take over, stand, and deliver. You're going to get your answer. And it's going to cost you that NXT UK Championship.
One thing will never change. That is me being the NXT UK champion.
Walter, it's a long, long fall from the top.
Well, this is a matchup many have been looking forward to. Wade, I'll start with you. Does Ciampa dethrone Walter tonight?
Now here's the question, is the 2018 Blackheart Ciampa showing up? Or really is the other question that, does it matter which Ciampa shows up? Because Walter has been unstoppable in NXT UK.
I mean, I think Walter did the unthinkable. He placed his hands on something that is so meaningful to Ciampa. I think tonight Ciampa's going to make him pay.
Well, we will find out. Can Tommaso Ciampa turn the clock back and find that Blackheart to once again call himself champion?
COVID-19 changed our way of life, the way we work, the way we play, and the way we live.
Right now, COVID-19 vaccines are available to millions of Americans, and soon they'll be available for everyone.
Let's get back to our lives and get vaccinated.
Roll up your sleeve and do your part for the ones you love.
This is our shot.
And we can do this together.
We are back on the USA Network, and are we looking at the next United Kingdom champion? And all hail the Queen! Teresa Mendoza is finally back to claim her throne. Don't miss a moment of the must-see final season of Queen of the South. Premieres tonight after NXT on USA. Beth, you talked about it moments ago on Peacock. What has Walter woken up in Tommaso Ciampa?
Well, Walter put his hands on the necklace that his daughter and his wife gave him and set up a chain of events. Gears in motion, unleashed the Psycho Killer. You know, Adam and I have known Ciampa for a long time. You gotta understand, as a parent, a gift from your child is like a talisman. A reminder when the world gets you down of who you are getting back up for.
Tonight, your weekend.
Ciampa very confident right now.
Look, I've got to be honest with you, Beth. You're proving Walter's point here. Ciampa's sole focus is no longer competition. He splits his time with family now. Walter, though, is a true competitor. Hasn't allowed the distraction of family to soften him up.
As NXT United Kingdom champion, longest champion of the modern era. There has not been a reign of 2 years as champion in WWE since the 1980s.
Unbelievable presence by Walter. I mean, I just want to go back quick. Did you say family softens you up, Wade?
Well, apparently it did with Tommaso Ciampa.
Are you joking? I mean, your child isn't a distraction. It drives your heart. Your child's presence is a primal instinct like nothing else. I mean, have you ever confronted a mama bear or a papa bear before?
No, I avoid the environment.
Well, that's Tommaso Ciampa tonight. Papa Bear, who's been slighted by Walter, and I wouldn't be surprised if Ciampa tore him apart.
The following contest, scheduled for one fall, is for the NXT United Kingdom Championship! Introducing the challenger, from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, weighing in at 201 pounds, Tommaso Ciampa! His opponent, from Vienna, Austria, weighing in at 297 pounds, representing Imperium, he is the NXT United Kingdom Champion, Walter!
Beth, can Tommaso Ciampa climb the mountain that is Walter?
I mean, Ciampa has to do that tonight. I mean, there's so many doubters all around him saying that, you know, he said it himself. They consider him a broken man. Tonight, he is in the best shape of his life. I mean, look at this man head to toe. This is the 2018 Tommaso Ciampa. The Psycho Killer's unleashed.
Yeah, and let's note that he is back in trunks for the first time in a long time. Maybe he really is turning back the clock.
guys of the world on NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver tonight, including Drew McIntyre, a former NXT champion who's just days away from his WWE clash with Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania for the WWE title. He is expecting absolute carnage in this matchup via social media.
Yeah, he's been in the ring with both men before. I know Drew very well. Speaks very highly of the pair of these two.
And again, the NXT Universe in this matchup right in the corner of Tommaso Ciampa. Ciampa's got to be worried of the chops of Walter, the strength of Walter, and Ciampa in the best shape of absolutely his career. When you talk to him, he knows what he has to do tonight. He is focused on toppling Walter, and right into the headlock quickly goes Ciampa. And Ciampa, bet no stranger, spent over 200 days as NXT champion.
A championship that he did not physically lose, and he knows what it takes to get to that point once again.
Ciampa backed up by Walter. Walter, the larger of the two competitors, called Tommaso Ciampa a shell of himself.
Well, Tommaso Ciampa at the moment staying well clear from those drops.
And look at Ciampa right into Walter now, beating down the champion. This is the old Tommaso Ciampa. This is the Blackheart, oozing through the pores.
You wanted this? You want the Blackheart?
Ciampa picking up. Oh, man. And just like that, Walter with one chop changes everything.
It was that easy.
Oh! And now Walter. Look at Walter. Oh my.
Treats the Tommaso Ciampa like garbage.
Listen to this. Oh. And one more. Oh, for good measure.
Walter caught Tommaso Ciampa twice with that chop in the build-up to this match. Ciampa had no answer, but finally we get a response from Ciampa right in front of us.
Yeah, right in front of us.
Oh! It's broke our desk!
Walter literally just put his hand through our table, and now Ciampa right on top of the champion again. Ciampa trying to chop down Walter.
Look at the state of the desk!
Oh, Walter. Just the physical presence of Walter.
If it does that to our desk, what will it do to a man's chest?
Literally like an axe through wood. Ciampa, the blood being driven out of his body.
There's splinters everywhere.
Oh, Ciampa trying to fire up, looking for Willow's bell, trying to hit Willow's bell's Ciampa.
No, he needs to end this one quickly.
Walter able to overpower and overmatch Ciampa all the way across the ring. Walter continuing to now physically dominate Ciampa. The leader of Imperium, who believes the mat is sacred, the purest. Oh! Well, Ciampa able to block the last chop with his elbow.
Yeah. He needed to do something. That was game over if he didn't.
Walter right now could be wounded after putting his hand through the desk. Ciampa trying to hoist up Walter. Ciampa trying to hoist up the champion.
Oh. Too much damage had been done earlier in the match.
Walter is too much of a gargantuan.
Walter again trying his best, but Ciampa with the injured hand. Look at the kicks. Relentless is Ciampa.
Walter might have a broken metacarpal here.
Tommaso Ciampa, a different man, fighting for different things this time around.
And the relentless attack, we know what's driving him.
Well, that boot to the face almost went right through Tommaso Ciampa, but look at Walter. Walter is wounded. Look at the welts forming on the chest of the champion. We can also see the welts, bam, forming under the jaw of the challenger.
Yeah, I don't know if that was strategy or luck on the side of Ciampa, but he's effectively taking away Walter's biggest piece of artillery, which is those chops.
Please look at this, guys. The massive hand just chopping the wood of the desk like it was nothing.
Oh, and you know, I've been in and around WWE, NXT for the past 14 years. I've never seen that before, but now with the half-Boston center of the ring is the huge
Walter. But notice, Walter, the inability to use his right hand, even the the slightest touch from Tommaso Ciampa, Walter's pulling back.
He's lost the job. He's lost all grip strength, too.
Tommaso Ciampa trying now to fight a little bit underneath. Another boot connects under the jaw of the challenger.
Well, that is one thing he hasn't lost, and that might be his only pathway to retaining the NXT UK Championship here.
I mean, just take a look at our table at this juncture of the night.
I've never seen that before, Vic. 14 years in WWE, that has never happened.
And Walter again imposing his pure will. Over 730 days as champion. The battles with Tyler Bate, the battles with Dragunov, who have all pushed Walter. Some have said, Wade, that Ciampa's kind of a combo of both.
Well, Bate and Dragunov, you can sum up with the word strength and tenacity. Ciampa has both in spades, but perhaps edges both in terms of experience. Not that that's doing him much good at this point in the match.
Look at Walter's entire career here in NXT, whether it's on Black and Gold brand or NXT UK, I don't believe anyone has been able to damage Walter the way that Ciampa has in this matchup.
Ciampa was perhaps somebody that Walter was looking past. We heard him on the pre-show saying Ciampa's the next big challenge, and looking ahead, he was looking past Ciampa.
Okay, Tommaso Ciampa refined that killer instinct. What a knee by Walter, and it buckled the knees of the challenger.
Audience here in the Capitol Wrestling Center making their opinion loud and clear. Clearly not happy with Walter, but the respect this man commands around the world. I've shared locker rooms with this man before over in Europe, and just the fear and respect when he walks in the room. And this is why he can dominate the best like Ciampa.
NXT Universe trying to rally Tommaso Ciampa. Ciampa able to duck the chop, turns around with a clothesline. Walter now, rocked for a moment. Ciampa again connects.
Ciampa unsteady on his feet though. Can he follow this up with something big enough to take Walter off his feet?
Oh! You can see the skin across the chest of Walter lit up red.
Ciampa continuing to try to chop down Walter. Can he topple the big man here tonight? Ciampa again continuing the offensive onslaught onto Walter. Walter again. Clock from behind. Ciampa trying to run right through the champion.
Well, the pace is quickening now. Tommaso Ciampa somehow from somewhere finding a second, or maybe a fifth wind at this point.
Walter somehow continuing to stay on his feet.
I don't know where Tommaso Ciampa is getting this endurance from at this point in the match. He's running a marathon in there.
Boom!
Ciampa being a human sledgehammer.
Ciampa will not be denied.
You guys keeping count?
He's done about 6 miles at this point. That's all it took.
Ciampa's back to his feet. You wanted the 2018 Psycho Killer. Walter, you got him. Ciampa hoisting up Walter. Ciampa driving the champion down. Cover. Do we have a new champion? Tommaso Ciampa looking to become the first superstar to win the NXT and NXT United Kingdom champions. This indeed is awesome.
No doubt that the fire has been lit in Tommaso Ciampa, finding the strength to hoist the body of Walter in the air and drop him.
Ciampa now, couple of succession of knees, trying to hook in the fairy tale ending. Can Ciampa hoist up Walter? Walter, though, hoisting up the challenger. No! Shoulders down, title on the line. Whoa, Ciampa able to roll through, but look at Ciampa trying not to break the hold. Walter trying to break it with Walter's hand.
Walter cannot get his way out. This is the most precarious position Walter has found himself in his entire reign. Over 2 years.
Ciampa slid a piece of paper under the official's hand.
Then the question is, what on earth can the General Walter do at this point with a limp hand? His best weapon is gone. Oh, the momentum behind Tommaso Ciampa. Come on, Tommaso.
Knee to the side of the face of Walter. Walter staggering back to his feet. And he caught Tommaso Ciampa. He caught Ciampa looking for the sleeper. But Ciampa right back to the finger, trying to bend back that injured hand. Walter having to relinquish the hold. Walter now with one arm.
Back on there. Move.
Hands on the rope, Walter. Ciampa gets to the rope, breaks the hold.
German suplex release.
Whoa, clothesline. Walter, after that huge lariat, into the cover. Ciampa kicks out.
What an incredible moment here. You see Ciampa dumped high on that net. Once again, followed up so quickly. But it was not enough. How on earth did Ciampa kick out after that?
That hand is in a mess. Look at the state of Walter, running through that Rolodex of moves in his head. What can he do without the use of that right hand?
He's only got one hand as Walter. Walter now looking for the power bomb. Ciampa trying to block it, but again, Walter's strength, to your point, Wade. And look at the hand.
He's biting the fingers.
Ciampa doing anything he can. Walter, oh, kick to the spine. And Walter right back in with a forearm. Ciampa staggered now. Another clothesline. Ciampa looking for the submission.
Trying to wrench on that wrist. The damage hand. Those fingers pulled back.
Is Walter gonna tap out? Walter center of the ring. Ciampa's bending. Ciampa's fighting. Ciampa trying to find that killer instinct.
Ciampa digging deep and driving, thinking about his daughter. The disrespect when Walter put his hands on the
and Walter able to get to the bottom rope. Ciampa still holding on to the fingers. Still butting back the hand.
He's got to count 5, Vic.
Ciampa using every second of that count of 5.
Well, Walter is in complete disarray. Nobody wrote this one. This was not in the stars for the evening.
Can you believe we're seeing Walter in the field position like this?
It certainly feels like 2018.
He's totally not covering himself up.
Ciampa trying to stay composed, does not want to get himself disqualified in this matchup.
Ciampa's not even breathing heavy.
That's the conditioning.
Ciampa again looking for Willow's bell. Walter, though, almost out of desperation.
Throat across the top rope there, just genius from Wally. He had to pull something out the back. He was about to lose the UK Championship.
We know the history of injury with Tommaso Ciampa's neck and Walter targeting that like a shark to blood.
Oh, his left hand might not have as much power as the right, but simply effective. The bruising opening up on the chest of Tommaso Ciampa.
Ciampa back to the hand. Ciampa to the hand. Ciampa. Challenger relentless. And Walter with one headbutt, rocking back the challenger.
With Walter, it's all about quality, not quantity.
Taking a look at the Capitol Wrestling Center, NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. NXT TakeOver, the #1 trend right now in the United States. And can Ciampa prove to be the #1 man in the United Kingdom? He's got to get through Walter, who's never lost a one-on-one matchup. Walter now teetering. Oh my God, Ciampa! Ciampa! Holding on to Walter! Ciampa into the cover! Oh! Come on!
If that didn't do it, what on earth will put Walter away?
Take a look at this spectacular moment. In mid-air, holding the body weight of Walter with his own weight crashing down, and yet Walter continues to survive.
We are witnessing 2 beasts colliding in this ring.
Fight forever, ringing out throughout the Capitol Wrestling Center.
It's almost getting inhumane at this point, Vic.
Oh.
I told you this was going to be animalistic, Wade.
And we know Tommaso Ciampa is battle-tested, as is Walter. Both would have to bring their very best here tonight. You can see the blood blisters forming on the chest of Walter.
There's nothing Walter can do at this point. agony all over. Busted through that one.
Oh! Walter able to step through. Walter, though. Ooh! Answering back with the left hand. Ciampa continuing to fight.
Those lefts of Walter do not have the same impact as those rights.
Walter catching Ciampa. Walter now just trying to keep Ciampa down. Walter now looking for the pin. Trying to use his size. Look at the neck. Look at the strength. Oh! Ciampa.
The boot on the jaw.
Hey, Beth, you brought up the neck surgeries, the injury history. Walter doesn't care. Powerbomb!
Just a volley of moves attacking the upper back and neck of Tommaso Ciampa. Once again, another powerbomb.
Cover.
Pin.
Count. Ciampa kicked out. This indeed is awesome. Oh! Ciampa turned inside out by Walter. Champion back to his feet.
And there's the right hand again.
Drop Ciampa. Cover. Walter retains.
Here is your winner, and still the NXT United Kingdom Champion, Walter.
You can never question the heart of Tommaso Ciampa, who just left everything in the ring.
In one of the most stunning physical encounters I have ever witnessed on NXT TakeOver, both of these men brought it to a new level in the ring tonight.
Well, I said the family had made Tommaso Ciampa soft. I was wrong. Tommaso Ciampa just put himself through things nobody else would.
Speaking of putting something through wood, let's take a look at this moment here. Boom! You see Walter's hand literally chopping our announce desk in half.
Take another glimpse here. Tommaso Ciampa attacking that right fist of Walter.
And in this moment here was Ciampa's best opportunity at besting the NXT UK champion. In this moment, giving them everything he had, but at just the last second, Walter kicked out.
And with a volley of powerbomb attempts, tight pinfall cover from Walter, not end up really questioning what on earth was it going to take to put away Tommaso Ciampa. We saw this German suplex followed up by a right hand bear paw to the chest. And that was finally enough to put away Tommaso Ciampa. What a game challenger he was.
What a match. What a defense for Walter. Take nothing away from Tommaso Ciampa as Walter now being flanked by Imperium, and the historic reign of the Ring General continues.
We'll find out who Frankie Monet is coming up next Tuesday.
Well, we are kicking off the biggest week of the year, and as you can see, images from London, England earlier this week, the world is readying for WrestleMania. WrestleMania truly a global phenomenon and one that has turned into a week-long event. I want to thank our friends at BT Sports. But speaking of WrestleMania, you can only view it exclusively on Peacock, and you can sign up right now, peacocktv.com/WWE, or make it a little bit easier. Take out your phone right now, open your camera, and take a photo of the QR code. Scan that QR code at the bottom of your screen. Get 50% off Peacock Premium. That's just $2, Ben, and 50 cents a month.
And with Peacock Premium, you'll have full exclusive access to WWE Network, including WrestleMania, plus hundreds of hit movies and shows, Peacock Originals, live sports, and so much more, all on Peacock. Sign up now.
I can't wait for the grandest stage of them all this Saturday and Sunday, but how about what's coming up next? The vacated NXT Tag Team Championship. One of these three teams will be crowned our new NXT Tag Team Champions. This match next.
Bronson Reed, congratulations. You just won the Gauntlet Eliminator match. You're now going on to face Johnny Gargano for the NXT North American Championship tomorrow. How are you feeling?
I feel fantastic. You know, this has been 14 years of hard work. And tomorrow night, I'm going to beat Johnny Gargano.
14 years. Congratulations, man. 14 years. What a dream come true. You had your takeover moment. You earned it, dude. But tomorrow night, reality is going to hit you when you get in the ring with the best takeover performer of all time. Tomorrow night, Bronson, it is the biggest match of your life. And you better fill up your gas tank, big boy, because I'm fresh as a daisy. Congrats. Enjoy the night. Tomorrow, different story.
Well, will Bronson Reed call himself North American Champion? We're about to find out who will call themselves the new NXT Tag Team Champs.
The following is a triple threat match for the vacated NXT Tag Team Championship. Introducing first, Nash Carter, Wesley MSK.
They're wild and they're free, bet they may just be the next NXT title holders.
Yeah, you know, I am so excited to see these two back. I mean, their journey here, how hard they've worked, cut short, of course, by the grizzled young veterans, injuring Wesley's hand. Now they are back to claim what they earned through their incredible performance in the Dusty Cup. You may be looking at your next NXT Tag Team Champions.
Legado del Fantasma!
Oh, huge opportunity for Mendoza, for Wild, also for MSK. And look, like Legado del Fantasma or not, they certainly have come together as a duo and a trio over the last several months.
Yeah, they've been hitting their stride, of course, with Escobar at the helmet. And that's what it's all about, bringing the NXT Tag Team Championships home beside the Cruiserweight Champion, Escobar.
James Drake and Liverpool's #1 Zach Gibson, grizzled young veterans.
Teresa Mendoza is finally back to claim her throne. Don't miss a moment of the must-see final season of Queen of the South premieres next after NXT on USA. Well, what what a triple threat match we are set for.
Yeah, really excited to see the grizzled young veterans today. They took over the NXT social media account today. I was honored they invited me to be the third member of the grizzled young veterans.
Well, how much money are they gonna pay you, Wade?
Yeah, well, you really don't qualify for the young part of that.
Oh, come on.
Here we are, triple threat match. First team pinfall submission earns the championships. No countouts, no disqualifications. Ooh. And right now there's Wild who tags in Mendoza. You know, as this match over the last several weeks, you know, you talk about the tag team titles, Wade, have some people forgotten about Legado del Fantasma?
Yeah, of course they have. Let's not forget the finalists of the Dusty Cup were indeed MSK and the grizzled young veterans. People have forgotten the fact that Legado del Fantasma, great semi-finalists, they have grown and grown over the past 12 months under the mentorship of Santos Escobar, and it would behoove them to fly under the radar and use that to this advantage. Look at this, I like this about Joaquin Wild, showing the personality
by
now.
Mendoza, and Gibson able to break things up at 2.
Calls that dance the Papacito dance. Thinks he's the hot guy. But clearly, Zach Gibson wants to take matters into his own hands here and goes straight back to that hand.
And now
Wesley that was damaged not so long ago.
Oh, and that's right. MSK finally back to feeling healthy and healed. And there's a lot of unsettled, well, there's a lot of things going on between MSK and Grizzled Young Veterans tag.
Yeah, a lot of turmoil between these two teams, and let's not forget, this is MSK's very first match of this caliber. The vacant tag team titles have been on the horizon for them for so long. There's got to be a lot of nerves going through their minds.
And it's the danger of a triple threat match. You got to have eyes in the back of your head. Is now Mendoza. And Gibson able to turn things around. Cheap shot, knocking down Wild. And just like they always do, Grizzled Young Veterans trying to capitalize on their opponent's mistakes, divide and conquer.
These two are teamwork personified.
Number 1 trend all night long has been NXT TakeOver.
There is no tighter tag team than the Grizzled Young Veterans.
Nash Carter flying through the air, takes out Gibson, but James Drake, the legal superstar of the 2.
James Drake took some time to retool retool his training, add 20 pounds of muscle to his physique, always looking to improve.
Well, we're about to find out who will be the new NXT Tag Team Champions as we move to Tuesdays, this upcoming Tuesday on USA. Be one of these 3 teams. And Drake with another nasty left hand. And Grizzled Young Veterans, they could join Rare Air tonight, Pat. Only the fabulous Freebirds have won vacated titles twice. Of course, we're also mentioning the NXT UK Tag Team titles. Grizzled Young Veterans won while vacated.
Well, phenomenal class of legends to join them, and the Grizzled Young Veterans considering themselves legends in their own minds. Wade, you can speak to that.
Well, let's be honest, they're pretty impressive. They have a great resume. They've been to the finals of the Dusty Cup twice. They're former NXT UK Tag Team champs, and I think they're going to go one better tonight and win the big one right here in NXT and become the new
You
tag
talk
team
about
champs.
a resume, they made it to the finals. How about the resume of the team that won it? Nash Carter, Wesley, MSK.
I'm taking nothing away from them at all, but you could have split that match by a hair. There was nothing in it at the end.
I think the GYV is intimidated by MSK, judging by the fact that they had to do something dirty and break Wesley's hand to avoid a confrontation.
These tag team titles vacated after the injuries sustained by Danny Burch. We know Burch and Lorcan watching somewhere very closely as again Legado del Fantasma isolated, and this plays into the game plan of Drake and Gibson.
Let's be honest, there was a lot of chaos at the beginning of this matchup. Now, the veterans have taken...
Another cover, form across the face. Carter kicks out at 2.
Control of this, they're in complete control. Legado del Fantasma have been laid to waste, apparently. And now it's really turned into a single tag team match at this point.
Well, it behooves the GYV to keep that ring cut off and keep Carter in their corner, not allow him to make the tag or allow a Legado back in the matchup.
There's that nastiness of James Drake and Zach Gibson.
You know, James Drake used to be a real nice boy until he paired up with Zach Gibson and got this nasty edge to himself, which I've got to admit, I love it.
Looking for a suplex. Carter able to float over, makes the tag. Wesley making his way back into the midsection. And take a look at the speed. Take a look at the combination offense. MSK starting to rock and roll in this match.
Just an ingenious duo that have taken NXT by storm from the word go.
Tag was made. Carter is legal. Grizzled Young Veterans don't realize it. Oh, they may now. Up and down.
Shades of the Hardy Boys. Simple and effective.
Wait a minute, back Mendoza. Tag. Wild's now legal. Legado del Fantasma picking their moments.
High-flying daredevils themselves.
And look for Raul Mendoza. He's been waiting a long time for this moment as we go back. Nash Carter up and down. Well, not to be outdone. Legado del Fantasma doing the same thing before Raul Mendoza made his debut in the Cruiserweight Classic. Nearly 5 years to make it to this stage. 5 years of grinding to make it to TakeOver. There's a lot on the mind for Legado del Fantasma.
Well, that is indeed a long way, but look what happens when you pair up with Santos Escobar. In my mind, the real Cruiserweight champion.
Well, that remains up to debate, Wade, and we'll find out in our ladder match on night 2 as Devlin takes on Escobar.
Wait a minute,
But right now.
And where Gibson quickly, you saw him coming in the ring to break up that count very quickly. And Legado del Fantasma now taking advantage of their number situation on Zach Gibson.
Just a street mugging 2-on-1 on the scalps of Zach.
Don't miss a moment on We Won't Leave You. We'll be here throughout the Peacock. However, don't miss a second of our action. Commercial break coming up on US. And as we mentioned, not going anywhere here on Peacock. Float over into the cover. Mendoza nearly capture the tag team titles for Legado del Fantasma.
Wade, you didn't really like it when GYV had a little bit of their medicine dished back to them.
I'm fine with it. Trust me, the streets of Liverpool where Zach Gibson grew up, he's had a bit of that before coming out of the pubs there. I used to live in Liverpool. I know all about that.
Well, guys, we need to focus on Legado del Fantasma. Look at Wild and Mendoza working as a well-oiled unit. Into the cover again on Nash Carter. Carter has to kick out at 2.
And Legado's completely changed the landscape of this matchup in a blink of an eye. Taking out 2 teams.
Legado del Fantasma, if you go back to the start of this matchup, I mean, smart strategy. Laying and waiting around, finally picked their spot.
Take yourself a little breather.
Another cover and another kick out by Carter.
Let the other 2 teams tear each other apart and then come in and pick the spoils.
Nash Carter desperate looking over at Wesley. Take a look, Grizzled Young Veterans, they have been isolated in this matchup. Is the time now for Mendoza and Wild. Triple threat match continuing for the vacated NXT Tag Team titles. Mendoza and Wild, though, have been on a mission, have been fluid, have been almost sensational, have been physically dissecting the competition.
Do not sleep on this pair. These 2 are real contenders here.
And look at the quick tags.
Yeah, they've come in with a focused strategy. They know these other 2 teams so well. They're not going to allow them to get an advantage at any point.
This is the best this tag team has ever won. Legado del Fantasma, count me impressed.
Well, this is NXT TakeOver, and everybody is bringing their A game.
One more time by Mendoza and another tag. Or excuse me, by Wild, another tag for Mendoza. Double suplex. Nash Carter is being taken to the clinic right now. Off the moonsault. Hook of the leg and a near fall, but Beth, how much more can Nash Carter have?
You know what? I think you have to bring forward the connection between Carter and Lee, how long they've been friends.
Drake from behind! Drake from behind! Shoulders down! Oh, and another near fall.
Almost stealing the match was James Drake there from Raul Mendoza after the head of steam that Mendoza had built up.
Excellent opportunistic move here by Drake, continuing to interject himself.
This is the dangers of the triple threat match. In action all over the place. Finally, Carter makes the tag, and in comes Wes Lee. They able to do that now. No wasted motion. Lee hitting everything that moves. Look at that roundhouse kick. Shots to the body, now to the ribs. Combination offense. Snapmare takes down Drake. Drop kick right to the back.
Just no way to block this kind of offense.
Caution being thrown to the wind by Wes Lee. Whoa!
James Drake.
Tag is made. In comes Nash Carter. Carter now. We have seen this in the past. Thing of beauty. Carter connects. Cover. Do we have? Oh, and another near falls. Drake able to kick out at 2.
The defiance of physics there from MSK. What an unpredictable duo.
This match has my heart beating so fast, Wade. I mean, I can barely keep track.
See Nash Carter there attempting to pick up James Drake. A momentary pause. And Zach Gibson, of course, on the outside. Up to no good. We have seen this before from the...
Knee to the jaw across James Drake, and now Carter crawling to make the tag, but Lee not on the apron.
Legado del Fantasma out of nowhere, back to take over, complete control. Twisting suplex there from Raul Mendoza, but again a fresh Wes Lee entering the matchup.
Wes Lee up, 2 for 1. And now Lee turns his attention to Drake. Drake up and over out of the corner. We know about Nash Carter's dad. We know what it means for MSK to succeed. Gibson with a cheap shot right to the Adam's apple.
How good Zach Gibson is too, and we're witnessing it firsthand. Again, perhaps attacking.
Wait a minute, the hand.
Attacking that hand of Wes Lee.
That injured hand.
He's trapped in the turnbuckle.
Come on, Raul.
Genius.
No disqualification. Triple threat rules.
The hand of Wes Lee crushed in that turnbuckle, and now Zach Gibson attempting to capitalize. Put him away, Zach.
Oh, and Gibson now can physically dissect, can physically dominate Wes Lee. Nash Carter's down, Mendoza down.
Oh, the Shankly Gates!
Shankly Gates is locked in.
This is how Zach Gibson won the UK tournament in 2018.
Can Wes Lee hold on? Nash Carter trying to interfere. Drake cutting off Carter. Shankly Gates is locked in.
MSK tied up, Vic.
Pain in the body. Is Lee gonna tap? Lee's gonna tap. Lee's gonna tap. Carter caught Lee's hand. Carter caught Lee's hand.
Carter not allowing Lee to tap the best.
Wes Lee's trying to tap out, referee. Stop the match.
You gotta fight it through, Lee. Shankly Gates. I can only imagine the pain shooting through the body.
Side by side.
Mendoza broke it up. Mendoza now dropping Drake. Wild to the top. Legado. Ooh. Mendoza now. Is it Legado del Fantasma's destiny? On the hand, that injured hand of Wes Lee.
Wes Lee is in a complete mess. Everybody else in the match is down.
This is the moment. Mendoza, wild, cover, count. Oh! Absolute disbelief.
Despondency etched all over the face of Legado del Fantasma. That is the prize, the NXT Tag Titles. They can taste them, but somehow Wes Lee continues in the matchup.
That is what's on the heart and the minds of MSK, keeping them in this matchup.
And again, no count out, no disqualification in this triple threat matchup.
All 6 men involved in brawls at this point.
Everything starting to break down. Wait, what? It's not Drake's.
Oh!
Doomsday device.
Tope Doomsday, of sorts, we've seen that before.
Mendoza now up on the shoulders of Carter. Wes Lee. Mendoza's done for.
Mendoza's body crashing to the mat across the ribs and sternum, and
MSK are stirring, they can barely stand up. If you're asking me, grizzled young veterans look like the freshest duo.
The finals of the Dusty Cup revisited. Who wants it more? How bad do you want it? You gotta fight for it!
We have ourselves a brawl at this point in the matchup. You ask me who the best brawlers are in its grizzled young veterans.
Yeah, but to offset it, you've got the electricity of MSK.
Looking for a ticket to mayhem, countered by Carter. Carter goes up, oh, double cutter! A double cutter!
Never seen before. No defense designed for something like that.
Carter makes the tag to Wesley.
MSK is smelling blood.
Wesley now. Gibson. Oh, nowhere to go. Lee into the cover. Hooks the leg. MSK. The dream was so real. It had to come true for Lee and Carter.
Unbelievable new NXT Tag Team Champions. What a chaotic matchup. What a performance from all three teams. The grizzled young veterans once again millimeters from glory. But this duo who have taken the world by storm since arriving here in NXT are finally crowned the new NXT Tag Team Champions.
Beth, what a journey for MSK, but we got to go back because Wesley had to fight through adversity.
GYV coming in with a very specific agenda, but you see here the teamwork, the friendship, the rapport. There's no quit in MSK. They are there for one another in every moment through all the suffering.
Once again, more of the ingenuity. What a performance from Legado del Fantasma. This was their moment in the matchup where they looked like they were going to take over until, of course, this doomsday device from the grizzled young veterans took them out for good.
And now would be fouled up on the other side of the ring. Mendoza would suffer the same fate as his tag team partner. And much like the Dusty Cup Finals, MSK able to rise and overcome the grizzled young veterans to fulfill their destiny.
Here are your winners and the new NXT Tag Team Champions, MSK!
What a moment. Let the emotions flow. We have new NXT Tag Team Champions.
Oh, I'm just so happy and so proud of these guys. You can see the emotion just pouring out of both of them. This is a moment they've dreamed of since they were little.
The legacy is just beginning for MSK.
They are the future, and the future is now. What a duo.
I mean, what more can we say? I mean, what a night it has been here for night one. We still have our main event to get to, but Wade, let's talk about what's going to happen tomorrow night, exclusively streaming on Peacock.
Oh my word, we saw him earlier tonight, the winner of the gauntlet. Bronson Reed comes on tonight too. Tomorrow night, he will challenge the North American champion, Johnny Gargano.
And speaking of championships, the Fire Pit wanting to shine on NXT's biggest stage. Can the Wade slam the brakes on the tag team champions' momentum?
Being the championships, the NXT Cruiserweight Championship will be held and suspended high above the ring as Santos Escobar goes up against Jordan Devlin to unify the Cruiserweight Championship. We will find out once and for all who is the undisputed NXT Cruiserweight Champion of the world.
And in our co-main event, the NXT Championship on the line, the undefeated Karrion Kross challenges the perhaps unbeatable, the Prince, Finn Balor.
And of course, our anticipated other co-main event, the uncontainable rage has brought us to this moment. NXT will not be held liable when Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly meet in an unsanctioned matchup tomorrow night, night 2.
And that's not all, guys, because Poppy's going to perform live exclusively here, night 2 on Peacock. Poppy will be in the house, but that's tomorrow night. How about what's coming up next? It's our main event. Io Shirai, the genius of the sky, takes on her toughest test to date in Raquel Gonzalez. And our main event of TakeOver Stand and Deliver Night 1 is commercial free, and it's next.
During the biggest week in sports entertainment, the biggest and brightest stars of NXT UK will make their mark.
European wrestling history will take place at NXT UK Prelude.
The best in the world, Meiko Satomura, teams up with the returning Amelia Mackenzie against the NXT UK Women's Champion Kaylee Ray and the vindictive Isla Dawn. It's NXT UK Prelude. Tomorrow 3 Eastern, 8 British summertime. Streaming on Peacock.
In the past year, Raquel Gonzalez has changed.
Oh my God, it's Raquel Gonzalez!
I have been running the NXT Women's Division.
Powerbomb onto Shirai, and Raquel Gonzalez has won Women's War Games.
Once upon a time, Raquel Gonzalez was known as the insurance policy. That performance puts her in the space of being a megastar.
The NXT Women's Division is recognized as the best women's division in the world.
Just makes me so excited to see how far we've come.
No one can compare to Raquel.
She is all muscle and the most dominant force.
She is the biggest badass in NXT.
Raquel is the last woman standing.
Io Shirai is loca. She is crazy. The things I've seen her do, it makes sense why she's NXT Women's Champion.
It does not matter to Io.
That is just sadistic. That is mean. That is Io Shirai.
The overall competitor of the year is Io Shirai.
Io Shirai takes to the sky and brings down the house.
Io Shirai continues to show the NXT Women's Division belongs to her.
誰も白井イオの隣に立つに値する人間はいない。
You're looking at the biggest and the baddest woman in this industry.
I want you next.
She made a big mistake by handing me this contract. Her title reign has an expiration date.
You cannot kill me!
You just cannot keep Io Shirai down. What do you have to throw at the NXT Women's Champion?
Io Shirai continues to forge forward despite everything Gonzalez has done to her.
I have turned myself into a beast.
I've beaten the best in NXT.
I am the brick wall that nobody can get through.
試合の終わりにこの言葉を聞けるだろう。And still, Women's Champion Io Shirai.
It's the main event of Night 1. Gonzalez, Shirai for the NXT Women's title.
Ready, girls?
You will not laugh or giggle.
Let's do this.
Bring it.
Luke and I are teamed in a hot dog eating contest.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Oh my.
Woo! Boom!
If you're not excited, you better check your pulse.
You gotta work with what you got, and we've got each other.
I knew it the whole time, buddy.
Wow.
Yeah!
What a huge night! Here to watch our main event new signee, Warrior of the Sun Story, and of course, a woman that's been at the forefront of the women's evolution, WWE Chief Brand Officer Stephanie McMahon. No doubt is excited to see these two women tear it up as all of us.
Can't wait to see Bray in action. I'm sure Stephanie McMahon feels the same way, but wait, it is time for our main
biggest match in this lady's career. Raquel Gonzalez, can she capture the gold tonight?
To do so, she will have to dethrone the genius of the sky. This is what we have been waiting for, Beth, tonight, the NXT Women's title.
It doesn't get any bigger than this, Vic. Generations of women, and we keep talking about this, making history over and over. And for a moment like this, for Raquel Gonzalez, she is full of nerves but full of excitement because she knows what this means to etch her name in the history books.
Barrett, wherever Gonzalez goes, destruction surely follows.
Well, we have witnessed Raquel Gonzalez smash furniture, walls, barricades, and most importantly of all, every single one of her opponents she has stepped in the ring with. And talking about destruction, she may well destroy the reign of Io Shirai tonight.
And Beth, as someone who is physically dominating during her time in the ring, led to your Hall of Fame career, is tonight the night for Raquel Gonzalez.
You know, Raquel Gonzalez has been checking all the boxes physically, emotionally, mentally. My heart is telling me this will be her night.
Can Io Shirai rise to the occasion once more?
I mean, we're talking about NXT TakeOver, where Io Shirai makes moments that live in history forever. Rising to the occasion is just what she does. She demanded this opportunity against Raquel Gonzalez because she knows the force that Gonzalez is. She wants to continue to prove herself as the most dominant women's champion in recent history.
Just receiving word that WWE Hall of Famer Lita has joined our watch-along crew. Everyone has eyes on NXT TakeOver. Everyone's eyes are glued right now on our main event, highlighting the best women's division in the world.
The following contest, scheduled for one fall, is for the NXT Women's Championship! Introducing the challenger from Rio Grande Valley, Texas, Raquel Gonzalez! Her opponent from Tokyo, Japan, she is the NXT Women's Champion, Io Shirai!
As you can see, the accolades, 300-plus days as NXT Women's Champion. Only 2 other women have held the title for 300 days in a row. Raw Women's Champion currently, Asuka, one half of the current WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Shayna Baszler.
You know, I mean, the tail of the tape is cool and everything, but I'm looking at the face of Io Shirai, and there is no place she is more comfortable or confident than right here in this ring.
And Shirai charging right at Gonzalez, and it was Shirai who said she will not die.
Absolutely not. Trying to catch Raquel Gonzalez cold. Now, of course, you would imagine some nerves in the challenger. Raquel Gonzalez, biggest match of her career. But with Gonzalez riding that early storm, and as I would have imagined, taking control of this.
Well, Gonzalez, of course, has pinned Io Shirai in the past. Do you think there's doubt in the champion right now, Beth?
There has to be. Take a short trip. I'm sorry, Beth. You jump in there.
Oh, no, no worries, babe. I mean, my opinion is, honestly, there's got to be some doubt in Io Shirai's mind because of that one moment, and that's what she's here to vanquish, to eliminate, erase that moment.
There's the strength of Gonzalez on display, but the genius, Io Shirai, using her smarts. Now Shirai charging right in, but again, just being overpowered by Gonzalez at this moment.
Gonzalez, of course, all power and strength in this one. Io Shirai claims she can beat Gonzalez with a combination of high flying and quickness.
And for Io Shirai, has to use her quickness, but we got to remember the X Factor in Dakota Kai on the outside of the ring.
Oh my word, the powerhouse else in the match. Raquel Gonzalez already taken up a feet. Io Shirai doing some real damage to Raquel Gonzalez.
You know, we can't forget the physicality what we saw on TV last week when Raquel Gonzalez continued to level Io Shirai over and over again, and nothing could keep her down.
Yeah, well, I've got to say, Vic, you mentioned that Kai might be the X factor in this one. Remember, Dakota Kai took on Io Shirai at NXT TakeOver 30. Very close matchup, as we see. Raquel Gonzalez once again powering out on this one.
Io Shirai able to
slide
to
the outside.
Gonzalez all the way to the floor. Io Shirai creating a little separation. Shirai now will throw caution to the wind. Whenever she can.
Just putting her body on the line in pursuit of this defense of the NXT Championship. As I was saying, though, Dakota Kai has done it all, involving herself in the matchup early on here.
You spoke it into being, Wade.
Well, we can forget about the X Factor. Dakota Kai is gone. Io Shirai on somewhat a level playing field. And Shirai, can she capitalize now? And Gonzalez, a little bit of time able to regroup. Shirai, not able to connect. Oh, certainly connecting.
Swinging pendulum back heel there to the chest of Raquel Gonzalez.
Shirai, no stranger to take over this, her fourth championship defense. Up and over with the moonsault, wiping out Gonzalez. And look, Io Shirai raised some eyebrows, calling the challenger a meathead during the global press conference.
Well, here's the thing, as we see Raquel Gonzalez once again taking up straight.
Long guarding the champion.
Shoulder first into that pole. Io did indeed call Raquel a meathead at the global press conference. I don't believe a word of that. That to me is Shirai showing some nerves, trying to get under the skin of Raquel Gonzalez. Why? Because Io Shirai is nervous, she's scared, she realizes what a threat Raquel Gonzalez is.
You know, Beth, of course, early on in your career, you had to step up to the plate. You had your first championship opportunity. This is Gonzalez's first opportunity. Do you see any nerves thus far in the challenger, who again is into a cover and another near fall?
Well, I'm looking at the screen, and if she has any nerves, they're not on display or affecting her performance. Like, look, this is the biggest match of her career up to this point. I mean, let's take a look at this right here. Gonzalez's performance utterly dominant throughout this matchup, despite what Shirai has been throwing on her. But you know what? You have to have that self-belief when you're going into a big matchup like that.
Both ladies setting their stall out very early, exactly what you would expect. The high-flying ability of the genius of the sky. Io Shirai against the powerhouse.
Gonzalez hooks the leg, and Shirai able to kick out again at 2. And this may be a point of emphasis throughout the night. Gonzalez, Beth, being able to keep her composure as this match carries on.
I mean, Gonzalez has had to stew in the fact of what happened last week, all week thinking about that putting Io Shirai through a wall was not enough to stop her from
cover
going.
off the trifecta of elbows, and a kick out by Shirai one more time. Gonzalez having her way physically right now with the champion, and it almost seems that Gonzalez, Beth, was able to weather that early storm.
Yeah, Gonzalez, of course, a durable athlete. In spectacular shape herself. I mean, take a look at the power here. Just muscling up Io Shirai.
Second time again, Shirai able to land on her feet. Shirai now going to try to chop down Gonzalez. Shirai, who has carried this women's division for nearly a year, has defeated everyone in her path. Wants to be the best, to continue to be the best in the best women's division in all the world. She will literally take on every challenger.
Well, you're seeing the best of the best right now. Hall of Famers watching this matchup, and Shirai's body being bent in ways it's not meant to be.
Just a torturous hold here from Raquel Gonzalez. She has to continue this high-impact offense on Io Shirai. Take it to the champion. Take one back step against Io Shirai, and you are done for.
Shirai trying to figure out her way to break free. Gonzalez trying to figure out her way to hold on. Up and over again. Shirai will land on her feet. Champion ducks the challenger twice. Gonzalez finally grabs hold. Shirai goes up, goes over, takes down Gonzalez with a double stop. This is what has made Io Shirai a fighting champion. The ability to adapt to all challengers. No matter how strong, no matter how fast, Io Shirai has always been able to figure out a game plan.
Shirai's such a compact, versatile athlete. Take a look at this mid-air switch, then boom, across the sternum of Gonzalez, blasting the air out of her lungs.
Shirai going around, not able to connect, able to, however, take Gonzalez down with an arm drag. Will the third time be the two for the fake kick? Right between the eyes. And the genius of the sky, with the challenger in her sights. Springboard missile drop kick.
Did you hear the impact of that drop kick?
I've got to tell you, the pacing of this match is a big surprise to me. That really favors the champion, Io Shirai.
Oh! Shirai, hitting combination to retain Gonzalez. Kicks out at 2.
And in this moment, you can see Io Shirai, NXT TakeOver, of course, trending #1 in the United States. Everybody's watching this. Io Shirai able to take Gonzalez off her feet.
I mean, it's been the #1 trend by my watch for nearly 2 hours and continuing to tick as Io Shirai continues to climb all the way to the top rope. Gonzalez, looking for the powerbomb. Gonzalez looking to plant the champion, who slides down the back door looking for the pin, was able to get it crossface. Crossface by the champion. Crossface locked in on Gonzalez.
Center of the ring too. Raquel Gonzalez eyeing those ropes, but must feel like a million miles away in the middle of the ring, wrenching on that neck.
Is Gonzalez gonna tap?
Well, the long, tall body of Gonzalez, she's got to use those limbs to reach and scramble and claw to get to that rope.
Challenger trying to find a way to the bottom rope. Shirai trying to hold on, trying to pull back Gonzalez. He's reaching for the bottom rope. So close is Gonzalez.
Fingertips. A final lunge, just enough to get the giant frame of Raquel Gonzalez, but how much damage has been done to the challenger ring?
Io Shirai so close to doing the absolute unthinkable, making Raquel Gonzalez tap out. But Shirai now on the top rope.
Top rope moonsault.
Moonsault onto the stage, onto the ramp. The heights these two women are willing to go to call themselves champion.
And let's be honest, if that was in the middle of the ring, Raquel Gonzalez would have been pinned by now.
All the way back in, Io.
And again, you can hear the referee using his own discretion. I mean, pinfall submission in the ring, only way Raquel Gonzalez can call herself champion. But this fight now is spilling throughout the Capitol Wrestling Center.
Io Shirai with a sprint, delivering double knees to the face of the challenger, Raquel Gonzalez.
I mean, Shirai, where she's most comfortable on that top rope, spectacular moonsault, leveling the taller opponent, and then followed up with this wham to the jaw. Level Gonzalez. Shirai is out here to prove a point tonight.
Gonzalez just starting.
The referee taking a very close look at Raquel Gonzalez. She's taken double whammy of blows at this point. Oh my word!
Look at Shirai! Oh! The champion! Willing to destroy herself to call herself the best damn women's wrestler in the world!
That skull is 20 feet high. Io Shirai, the genius of the sky, laying it all out there.
There you can see Io Shirai absolutely relentless with her attack. There is nothing this woman won't do. One more angle. My God!
Oh, there is no price on earth you could pay me to jump off something that high onto a steel grate, no less.
Speaking of that steel grate.
You can just hear the impact of those bodies, elbows, knees, hips, crashing on that metal. There's no way there's not a broken bone in this equation. My God.
Just count the hang time that Io Shirai had before she impacted upon Raquel Gonzalez.
And look at Io Shirai dragging the beaten body of the challenger. Io Shirai doesn't want a freebie. She wants to pin Raquel Gonzalez in the center of the ring.
Io Shirai is out of her mind, but now perhaps a sitting duck is Raquel Gonzalez.
A familiar sight here.
Shirai, top rope, moon over moonsault. Shirai into the cover. What? What did we just witness?
What on earth is Raquel Gonzalez made of?
This is all about the NXT NXT Women's Championship. This is NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. The question is, who will be the last one standing at the end of the night?
Nobody in NXT has ever kicked out of Io Shirai's top rope moonsault. What must be going through the mind of Io Shirai? Perhaps it's the boot of Raquel Gonzalez. Gonzalez back on top.
Gonzalez now using his strength. This time, putting the champion on the floor. But Gonzalez has to get Io Shirai back into the ring. Only way the title can change hands, pinfall or submission.
Well, this is exactly how Raquel Gonzalez beat Io Shirai at the Women's War Games match back in December. Of course, as you mentioned, Vic, redundant outside of the ring, but now Raquel stirring.
You've got to wonder if all the risk-taking has taken its toll on Io Shirai's body.
Gonzalez. Gonzalez now turning the champion inside out.
Gonzalez has been knocked silly though. Can she get her feet underneath herself?
Capital Wrestling Center on their feet. Gonzalez looking for that one-arm power bomb to stake her claim to the women's title. Cover, count. Gonzalez makes history.
Here is your winner and new NXT Women's Champion, Raquel Gonzalez.
Gonzalez, the first woman ever to be the NXT Women's Champion and to have worn one half of the NXT Women's Tag Team titles.
Well, what a reign from Io Shirai. Almost a full year long taking on all comers, but this lady, Raquel Gonzalez, refused to be denied. She should have been beaten several times in that matchup, would not give up, and we have ourselves a new NXT Women's Champion, and no woman more deserving.
Man, I mean, let's take a look one more time at this moment that will go down as one of the greatest in TakeOver history. Io Shirai thinking that she had it all wrapped up here with the moonsault. But even after everything Gonzalez endured, it would not be enough to keep her down. The aggression would continue to escalate as Gonzalez not only kicked out of the moonsault, but would rally in these last final moments of the matchup.
What on earth will it take to stop Raquel Gonzalez as we see the final closing moments of this matchup? The one-arm powerbomb. Nobody's getting up from that. Io Shirai put away finally after a historic reign, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is our new NXT Women's Champion, Raquel Gonzalez.
If it was anything like night one,